All right, it's been a while since we've done a video about a chain, hasn't it? So, we're actually comparing two chains. I'm looking for a faster one. This is the fastest round chain I've done right here. This is it. We've done a couple of videos, and we determined that this is pretty much the fastest one. She's doing really good at races. I'm saving it for the races, all that stuff. So I just sharpened up another one, and we're gonna see if it's faster. I doubt it. I think it's just gonna be too hungry, but we're gonna find out. There's only one way to find out, you know what I mean? And that's to do the test. So that's what we're doing. This is the saw that this chain gets ran on. It's dialed in for this saw. So, maybe we get lucky and we get to replace it with a faster one. Well, you never know. It's our never-ending quest for a faster chain. But let's go ahead and make a cup here, a cut or two. This is going to bring your baseline. Then we're going to switch chains and try the other one. Alrighty. All right, time for the baseline cuts. Get this boy fired up. All right, just by the way that felt, I don't know if this other chain's going to be faster. It's probably going to be, I probably made a bunch of chatter more than I'd made a faster chain. Only one way to find out though, you know what I mean? Let's see what happens. We're running Poplar at the races, so even if she's just a tiny bit chattery, it should be okay for Poplar, you know what I mean? This one is just tiny bit rough on the harder woods. And I don't know, we're gonna find out. All right, we're back. Ready to go. This is actually a fairly accurate test too. Both of these chains started life as C83. Both of them been sharpened by me, just using slightly different setup. I got a feeling this one's gonna have the chatter. The question is how much chatter? Is it going to be too much for something softer like Poplar? You know what I mean? Cross your fingers. Let's see if we can do better than my best chain. That's basically what we're trying to do here. What you just seen is my best chain. We finished high in the pack. I think second place at that race in July with that chain. So let's see if we can do better. We know it performs well. Let's see if this one performs better. They do better in the softer woods. These chains are really better in softer woods. This is cherry. A little hard for that chain. And I don't know, we'll see. If we can make it fast in hardwood, I'm sure it'll be fast in softwood, right? Let's go for it. I don't know. I don't know which one was faster. This one felt faster, but when you're splitting hairs, you know, it needs to be consistent. I can tell you this one pulls a lot harder, but it wasn't chattery. So the pull on this one is probably twice as hard. Pulls like a freight train. So the self feed of the saw is pulling the saw is just as hard as if you're dogging it in, probably. Like imagine, like, well, you know how when you're normally cutting and you start cutting and then you start dogging it in. So we all know that when you dog it in and start forcing it through the cut, you can make it come faster. You can. But in a race situation, it don't really work like that. You need to have more control. This chain is pulling hard enough that it's basically self-feeding just as hard as if I was dogging in and torquing through the cut. I'm holding on to it pretty hard. That is a really, really, really hard pulling chain. I'm surprised it's not producing chatter. There's no chatter. I'm surprised. So, what do you say we look side by side and find out which one's faster? So there she sits. The chain was slower. And I think what we're seeing is kind of the same effect as like going from a 7-pin sprocket to an 8-pin. If you ain't got enough torque, you're better off just to stick with a 7-pin. I think we're kind of finding the same deal with the self-feed of a chain. If you ain't got the torque to handle it, you're better off just to stick, you know, with the way it was. So, I think I'm gonna put that other chain back on the saw. And I think, actually, I think I'm gonna take that chain and put it on the 395. 395 should have enough torque to do it. You know what I mean? It's got more torque than this thing. I bet you just a little bit more torque, that chain would be performing better, especially on like softwood. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think we're gonna try it on the 395 and see how she does. I'll just save that chain from the 395 for something else. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm actually putting some chains together. That's what these are. These are chains together for me to give away. Giving away a couple of chains to guys. They're Farmer Tech chain boxes, but they're not Farmer Tech chains. It's a mix of steel, C83, and Oregon that I've sharpened. I'm just kind of getting ready for Sawfest. That's everything's lined up here. See it? The old home light. I still got to get it a run. It's a roller nose bar. I just put C83 chain on it. That'll be for the vintage Bounty log. So that's just an out of the box C83 chain. The nitromethane saw is ready to go. I could run it again and tune it, which I probably will. It's just the idle circuit that's a little lean right now. I could fatten it up. There's the 2149. She doesn't look anything like she has been. I had to put that 350 starter on it. And that's a 350 top cover that I hacked and put on there so that I wouldn't hack up the factory one, the original. There's only one screw holding it. I figured I'd put a cover on there just in case there's something in the rules that says I have to have a cover on it. And I just put a 350 cover on there with one screw just to hold her in place. You know, I should make another video because this saw does not run the same as what it did on the last video. I got the timing backed up a bit She really cleaned up and took off. And then the chain, I got a chain good and dialed in for it. So that saw is running pretty freaking good right now. Same with the Husky 5000. That thing is dialed. That thing is screaming. Both of those saws right there are really nice runners. The Bellhopper saw is ready to go. Put the same chain it's on it right now. It's the same chain as whenever I ran it and took first place. So that's the same chain that's on that one. The Briscoe 036. Not planning on running it, but it's going to be there just in case somebody needs to borrow a saw or whatever. I keep tossing up between that one and that one as my 4-cube racer. I always go to this one just because I built it. That's really the only reason. The whole purpose of me going through this process of building saws and everything is to run more saws that I built, and that's the reason I keep picking that one, even though the 036 runs just it's freaking an awesome saw. I just keep going to that one because I built it. 3120, I got to sharpen the chain. I still have to sharpen that chain up, and I still need to give it another test run because the last time we ran it, it hit a nail or something. So I got to fix that and give it another test run. She's still stock. She just got a bunch of hack mods done to it, but it's still just a stock saw. The Neotech is ready to go. 395 is ready to go. But yeah, if you were curious what to happen if you just went super hungry with your chain and you were able to do it without picking up a whole bunch of chatter, that's basically what happens. It's basically like going from a 7-pin to an 8-pin. It basically creates the same effect. That's what I'm finding over and over again. It's just, you're better off just to keep that saw screaming as good as you can on that 7-pin, until you get up to something like a 395. At the 395, I can go to 8-pin, but anything smaller than that, 7-pin all the way. And keep that chain good and hungry, but not so hungry that it's killing your saw, you know what I mean? So, yeah, the effect of running a good chain, regular, normal setup, versus one that's stupid hungry. Just doesn't quite work out. So, yeah, I think we'll just run it on the 395 though. It should do pretty good on the 395. So, there we go. Just a little chain video for you today. I'm pretty much ready. Just a couple tweaks. I got one chain to sharpen, and like 2 to run, 3 to run. I mean, we're just tuning though, the 3120. I was getting ready to do more tuning on it, but I hit a nail or something, so I just stopped. I got to start over again. The D366 is good to go. I just, it's just the idle circuit that's a little lean. It's good to go otherwise. And the home light, it's been a while since it's been ran. I need to give it a run, make sure that tune's good. Besides that, I think everything's good to go. We're pretty much ready, So I think next weekend I'll be probably this week, probably a couple of nights this week. I'll just go ahead and finish those couple of tweaks. And Joey's coming up next weekend, so we're going to be tweaking his saws next weekend. And then a couple of days after that, we're headed to Sawfest. So yeah, just exciting. We're almost there. All right, later.